What's going on,
Hey guys, it is Scotch for Dummies.
4 guys in a Scotch journey to help you with your next Scotch purchase, and by God, I hope it's one of these.
I do hope it's this.
I'll tell you what, I can't believe we haven't done this one yet.
5 years into this, plus 5 years, that's 5.5 years, and we've not done...
So we've got at least 2 or 3 bottles we've done by ourselves, but we realized a couple weeks ago or so that we have not actually officially done a review.
And what is it?
This is a GlenDronach 21-year-old.
The Parliament.
We were pretty sure that we had done this one.
When was this bottle?
So this particular bottle, if you guys are paying attention at home, you get open a GlenDronach bottle. On the back, there's a little laser etched date and when it was bottled. This was bottled in 2019. Why we want to make a big point of this is because GlenDronach went through a mothballing, they closed down for a minute when they reopened. Because of all that, their labels have been a little bit off, and it started with the 15s and then the 18s. Now the 21s are still the only ones left to do this, but if you look up, go on Google and Google GlenDronach age chart, and you'll see a ton of them. They're just this little chart that goes across, and basically what it's saying is that the whiskey in this bottle, even though it's labeled as a 21-year-old, is actually 24 years old. And so what happens is, basically what happens is when it mothballed, they had this whiskey that was just sitting there and nobody was bottling it, no one was aging. Well then it was purchased by, not Brown-Forman, somebody before them. And they wanted to put out the labels that they currently were putting out before it mothballed, right? And so they just used the stock that they had to do that, and the stock was actually older than the whiskey labels. So anyway, the important thing to note is that the GlenDronach 21 Parliament is still older than the label represents until 2023. So in 2022, you'll be able to get a GlenDronach 21 Parliament that's actually 27 years old.
Be on the lookout for that.
I will be on the lookout.
Yep.
But the key is the back of the label.
Right, so it's hard to it's hard to read it. It's actually etched in the bottle in the back down here on the glass. You really got to get a light and shine on it the right way. But
Or your kid.
Yeah. Not this guy can't see a damn thing.
Right?
So anyway, GlenDronach 21 Parliament. In the States, we're looking at about $249, guys. It's salty.
Is it still readily available? I mean, I haven't seen too many bottles, but
yeah, you can get it. I've seen it, but it's pricey.
Depends on your
pricey.
market.
If you notice where we got this bottle, we got it in the UK. There's a little tax stamp because it's a lot cheaper over there. We can get I mean, there's some online websites over in Europe that sometimes you can have a bottle of this for 99 pounds.
Yep. Now, to be fair, we have had this bottle for a while. As you can see, it's half empty. Definitely have to report it here. One of the things we talked about doing is when we do the live show, I think we're going to open a fresh bottle and talk about maybe Dr. Scotch is going to do some gas, examples or something.
Dr. Scotch will
So an oxidated bottle versus a non-oxidated.
brand open.
Something like that.
That'll be interesting.
And the unopened bottle was bottled the same month and year as this one, so it'll be a perfect compare. This is 21 years old. It's Pedro Ximénez Oloroso, 48%, non-chill filtered,
natural color.
Yeah, it's everything GlenDronach's known for doing.
Full disclosure, we love this one.
This is gonna be tough to be like unbiased when I know.
This is probably about a 1.5.
We were shocked that I could smell it as soon as I took the lid off. Are you kidding me?
Hello, lover.
It's been a minute since I've had a glass of this.
It smells velvety.
I'm
getting the
bananas
PX
a
on
little bit
those.
too.
That's
Ripe bananas.
Yep.
Sure.
Oh yeah, like
Syrup.
banana bread.
Yeah.
I'm getting
Honey, syrup. Hit the chocolate. Like he's going right in.
I had some
can't smell it
orange.
anymore. Orange, yeah. Oh my gosh. What a lovely bouquet of smells.
Actually, that 48% is there too. I mean, it really fills your sinuses up, but it's not so strong of an ABV where it burns your sinuses, where you're like, whoa, I got too much there. But it's definitely a full smell, a very full flavor in there.
Sponge, caramel sponge.
Gosh, there's a bit of tartness to it that is it's got to be the oxidized Oloroso sherry that just gives that little tart fruit. I mean, it's really
That one is one you can just sit back and
fruit
think
on
about. There's a lot going on in that glass.
like cherries,
Like kiwi on the nose a little bit too.
bean cherries.
I had forgotten how much I liked GlenDronach.
Yeah, rich, a little edgy and sharp. Not quite as sweet as the $18 guys.
No, absolutely not. That's
but
that tartness, yeah.
yeah, but man, the flavor is just all there and very lasting. The finish just keeps going.
It's still going.
You guys are being inappropriate. Like, whoa,
Nah.
Calm down there. Calm down.
Good times. Good times.
It's just like heaven in a glass. It's got richness. It's got complexity. It's full from the beginning to the end. It's round. It actually, I take it back. You said edgy, and I kind of had a little bit of that, almost like a tingling edginess in the cheeks when I first took it in. But man, I can still chew on it though. It's got a long finish.
Finish just keeps going, man.
It's got everything in there. It's got black tea. It's got old leather. It's got some tobacco notes in there. There's clove and honey and cinnamon.
Leather
I'm
and
getting not really
nose.
much oak. Well, there's a little bit of oakiness there.
There's oakiness way on the back
Way on
palate.
the
There's
back.
like a tannic quality to it.
Yeah, I
mean,
smelt
it's-
that.
It's got layer upon layer.
Boy, you put your nose back in it, and it's that fresh, ripe, sweet
To me,
molasses.
molasses, kiwi, leather,
Kiwi.
Who would ever put those together?
kiwi, right?
Yeah, because it's tangy. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, you said tangy earlier. That's
Yeah.
what filled me on the kiwi.
Yep.
To me, you said black tea, and it's to me it's black tea leaf, black tea that's dried, and not a wet black tea, but like the tea leaves when they're dry, almost like
I
a
gotcha.
potpourri type of a smell.
The ABV is perfect. The ABV
It
is
really is.
perfect.
Oh yeah, we have to put water on this.
Because it really, it's a. I don't want to say it's hot, but it's just right.
Yeah,
like they
it's
took
just
it
right.
just to the right
It's
point.
just
They're
on
like,
the edge of
any
too
more than
hot.
this, it would be hot, and you'd have to put water on it. This is perfect. Don't touch it.
You
Yeah.
have to be really careful with water, I think.
Yeah, I'm not getting any over, alcohol burn on. It's really not good, Mark. I could see you were getting ready to say something.
No, I'm just thinking. I honestly think the finish on this just goes for days.
It's
I
not
love it.
chocolate though. It's
It's a
just
long drink.
yeah. It's just a chewing, syrupy.
It doesn't hang as long as like peated whiskey does. I don't think.
Well, it tapers
No,
off.
but it takes
tapers off.
a while.
But-
Wow, that banana comes out.
No.
Did you put some water? I don't even know if I have room for water.
Oh man.
A little bit more.
You're
I like the
enjoying
way
it
you
so
do
much.
things.
Yeah, see, I'm not getting as good a nose on it
The
now.
leather is gone now on the nose.
The sweetness is gone.
Yeah.
Not for me.
I might
That
have
is
too much water.
perfect.
Now all I get is banana peel.
Oh my god, that's so good.
But honey, banana peel, and
It brought all the sweetness out. So good.
Banana pudding, man.
It's so good.
Yeah, I lost some of the sweetness, some of the ripe fruit that I like.
I mean that
And
is
the Pedro's coming out
rounded
heavy.
perfectly now with the water. Wow. It still has all the characteristics of it neat. Now with the water, it's softer, rounder, and a little bit sweeter.
It is. The sweetness came up a little bit. Who's ready?
I got a fresh leather that's wet. Like
I'm getting
a
a-
wet, fresh leather, like new leather that's not been worked.
Yes, I can get that.
I
Absolutely
thought
get
it was neat.
that. Yeah, so what the water did for me is it brought a lot of the fruit notes down, but brought up more like the bread. Like you said banana bread, like the sponge cake, that kind of
Yep.
it's not malty, it's not grain, but it's that, well, it's a bread note. I mean, it's what you taste in a wheat bread, like kind of thing. And so that it kind of changed it a little bit. I think I like it better neat, and maybe less water. I don't know. Maybe that was it.
You ready to give it a score?
That's tough.
I can give it a
close.
score. I can give it a score. So this is a great whiskey. Unfortunately, it's a very expensive whiskey. Depending
is.
on where you find it. So that's something we need to kind of work through.
What's the average,
Can you
you
get
think?
it for 150
Yeah.
bucks? Or can
In
you
the
get
States?
it?
No.
Well, okay, but with shipping, I mean, so what's the minimum price you can get a bottle in the world right now? $150, $175?
I
probably
found a
with shipping?
website 2 or 3 weeks ago that had it on sale for €99, and you're probably going to pay about 35
Yeah, it's like
shipping.
160,
So
170.
you
Yeah,
know,
so it's okay. We'll say 170 to 250 range. So $200 range.
okay.
Let's say go with the
That's
$200
fair.
range.
That's fair.
I mean, globally, we're trying to understand whatever.
21-year-old for $200, GlenDronach, go.
To put on the spot.
That's tough.
So so we talked through this. Man, it's so expensive. but it's so good.
You can hear it
It's so
tightening
good.
up.
That's the thing. It's got a lot. So I'm trying to. I've got to compare it to the other ones that are in this range. So when I think of this, I'm thinking Delmore King Alexander. I'm thinking. Well, I don't know what else. What else has this good of flavor with it? That's in that $200 range. You know, the
Well,
Macallan Rare
Alexander's
Cask.
not $200 range.
It's higher than
That's a
200.
$300 range.
$250 if you.
Okay,
you
say
can find it in the
250.
U.S. for $250.
Yeah,
sure.
so I let's just say that if you're gonna come.
Well, the Allardyce, the 18 is easily 180.
Yeah.
190. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
189.
So the number that's rolling around in my head, and I have to talk through this, is a 3.5. So it's not as fantastic as some of the bottles. It's expensive. It's almost there though. It doesn't have. Unfortunately, I lose the probably the most redeeming feature is that ripe fruit that I get it. I lose that when I add water to it. The finish is pretty long, but it's not as long as I maybe would like. But everything else, the richness, the flavors, the breads, the leathers, all those other things that are in there make it an exquisite whiskey. Definitely one to have on your bar. This is a celebration bottle. This is when you share with your best whiskey friends because they know what they're getting from it.
Sure.
I would not share this with a first-time whiskey. Probably maybe a half-ounce pour just to show them what whiskey can be.
Sure.
So that I'm going to go for 3.5. This is an outstanding whiskey.
I like what you said there, and this bottle is a good example of. I don't hit this very often because I know what it can do. It's so good, and we've hit it in celebratory situations for the most part.
Yep.
But it's a fantastic bottle. It really is. I'm going to start off with a 3.5 and may go up. We'll see what happens here. Is it complex? It is complex. Is it super complex? No, but it's pretty complex. It's got a lot of stuff. We talked about kiwi, leather, caramel, sponge. I even got apple now on the nose. I mean, that's complexity in the nose. On the palate, it was higher. I think you said it, Sean, earlier. With the ABV it's at right now, it's right on the bleeding edge of being too hot, which is perfect the way it is neat. So, and it had good flavor then. It had what I was looking for. It had some of that leather I had in the nose. It had that sherryness that you're looking for, the Oloroso, the PX. It's there. And with water on it, man, it was perfect for me. It really rounded it off, softened the edges, brought up the sweetness for me, and it really balanced it out. I was very careful in my water not to put too much.
Yeah,
so
I dropped it.
Yeah, but for what I'm getting at this now, it is expensive. It's hard. It's hard to pay that kind of price for it. But I love it. I'm gonna stick to a 3.5. I think if it was a little lower in price, I'd go with the 4. But it's that good. It really is. I love it.
Yeah, it's close.
All right. So, if you are a sherry whiskey lover, this is it. Like, to me, this is the holy grail. Like, this is the one.
Okay.
Right? 21-year-old GlenDronach. You get the Oloroso. You get the PX. I really like it. A lot of whiskeys, they're like 46%, right? Non-chill filter, 46%. You'll leave it alone. GlenDronach's like, you know what? Give you a little more. 48.
Taking it to 11.
You know what I mean? Just a little bit more. And it is right on the edge of being just a wee bit too hot. But all the flavor and complexity is there.
Yeah.
The nose is wonderful. You know, it's funny because you get all these deep, rich notes when you sip it, and then you go back and you get like bananas and like all this sweet notes on the nose. It's awesome. A little bit of water brought the sugar notes back out, and kind of hid some of the like leather and like old book notes and things like that are to me like deeper, older notes, and let some of that like younger, sprightlier spirit shine through. And so you got all those sweet notes coming in. Like everything about it was great. The mid palate, the finish is reasonably long for a sherry finished whiskey.
That's
I mean,
true. Yeah.
unless you're going to Isla, you'd be hard pressed to find one that's going to last that long. Granted, it is $200 a bottle. I get it. But this isn't a bottle that you buy for everyday drinking. No. This is a celebratory bottle. Yep. This is something that you are going to sit down and enjoy with people who get whiskey and who really understand it. So to me, this is everything that I love about drinking Scotch. So it's a 4.
I knew he was going to steal my thunder. I knew it.
Nah.
All right,
share it.
we'll share this. I'm gonna come out of the gates with a 4 for this very reason. It's got all of that. I love the fact that I can get some Pedro love in there, and I can find it. I can get some Olo love in there, and I can find it. It's a long drinker. The nose is just wonderful, whether it's neat or whether it's on with water. So is the palate. Lasts forever. We're talking price. Okay, if I had to spend $2.49 for it a bottle, I might bring it down to $3.5. But you know what? I've got a few of these bottles on my bar that I got for under $150 a piece, and if you can get it for that, all day long, every day.
Well, yeah.
And but you can. You just have to be ready. You shop around. Make sure don't go out there and jump on a landmine when you don't have to. You can find them for. And then the icing on the cake for me
you know what?
is this isn't a 21-year-old bottle.
That's it.
This is 24-year-old whiskey right now.
I don't care how old it is. What does it taste like?
To me,
A
it's
4.
all a 4. All of it's there. It's got everything that I want. And now, albeit some people, a lot of GlenDronach lovers out there will say that they like the 18 better than the 21. And I'm not saying I don't love the
It's good
18.
too.
Love that one too. But this is the one I'm judging right now. And I love everything about this bottle. It gives me everything I want. 48% ABV. It could take a little bit of water and drinks a little bit differently, a little bit smoother. But man, it's good either way. It just you can't go wrong with this bottle. So I gotta give it a 4. I have to say
I
this
gotta
is it.
say, I'm going to 4 as well because I completely forgot about the age thing on this. What they're doing, that's a cool little trick. And if you can find it, especially if you can find the price cheaper, it is a 4 for that regard.
It's good. Period.
It really is. So all right, there
So,
you go.
All
right.
3 5 and 3 4s.
3.875.
That seems
That is
pretty decent.
Damn
That's a
good.
damn good whiskey.
I'm just getting good at math. We've been doing this for 5.5 years now. We finally got it down.
Got it down. Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
Great
guys.
bottle.
Oh, man.
GlenDronach 21 Parliament.